Hi, I'm DJ the Money Coach. Don't touch that dial. You want to become financially independent, you want to have consumer debt freedom, you want to have passive income, learn how to build a business, acquire real estate, and achieve the lifestyle you deserve in 2021? Well, hit that link below right now. We've worked with over 20,000 people in the past 2 decades, helping them become consumer debt free, increase their credit scores by 30 to 60 points in 30 days or less, and help them acquire businesses, real estate, taxes, and a network of experts just like you. So you can get a complete 3-hour, 18-month course called Family Finance 101 that teach you A to Z how to become consumer debt free, credit worthy, and put you in a position to become a certified entrepreneur. We'll also give you a complimentary consultation with me that's a $500 value. Why would you want to do that? Because I have already achieved that, and I can help you achieve your American dream in 2021. Hit the link below, get the free webinar and the complimentary consultation, and I'll see you soon and wish you a pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind. Come join us.
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth. It's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly.
Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase. Now, let's start the show.
All right, yes, that's right. Get your bottle of Toledo Tequila, which this show is sponsored by Toledo Organic Tequila. Yep, crisp, smooth, organic, and most importantly, Black owned. And if you need to see that promo code again, I'm putting it on the screen for you. ToledoTequila.com. It's a promo code MONEY.
What better way to open up the show?
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, the bottle is 100% recyclable. So we are conscientious of green.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. So, welcome to Nick's Knowledge and Notions in Cube Science Series, brought to you by the 7 Spheres of Money. I go ahead and take my sip too to start it off.
Salute.
What
you drinking on?
Oh, I'm drinking on that Toledo, of course.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mix something with it?
Yeah. Just mix a little juice with it. That's it.
Okay. Toledo and juice. Sipping on laid back Toledo and juice. Got my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Yeah. That's right. Yep. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. As we're opening up too. But before we get into the show, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Like the video, share it with all your peoples, and subscribe to this channel. Get those notifications for when we go live and for when those new shows and those episodes air. So yeah, man. As you can see, we're in a good mood as always, because we're always in a good mood when we're above ground, but we're in an even greater mood because of all the great things that we got going on right now. Yeah. So DJ, I know you need some sandbags for your ankles, but But talk to the people, man. How you feeling?
Hey, man. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who has continued to support us over the last 14 months. Yep, 14 months. And we don't take, you lightly. We cherish, and it's an honor and a privilege to bring quality, real information that actually is changing lives to you. And we also are very proud and happy that our programs are 100% Black owned, 100%. 100% Black owned, 100% written, produced, partnerships, sponsorships, Black owned. And we welcome our other brothers and sisters from other mothers as well. But we take pride to be unapologetically Black. And with that said, I mean, man, we have a lot of great things going on. I honestly don't know where to start from, but this all began back in 2002. This is a manifestation of delayed dreams, manifested. So why am I saying that? Because I want you to know, no matter if you're 1 year old to 95, if God got a dream for you and it's really what God got for you, you will have it. So it always has been a dream of mine to have a show that was totally run by us, for us, with the right perspective, the right principles, and most importantly, the right people on the team. And I am humbled by the blessings that God has bestowed upon us in just the last 30 days. It's just amazing. But again, this is a dream that was delayed for almost 20 years. Not the business is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals. I'm talking about bringing a team together that look like us and we all get it. No egos, no envy, no backstabbing, just righteous, great people want to serve our community and show what the norm is from what I've known for 20 years in my personal circle. I'm ecstatic about having this stuff transpire. So I would hope that you are coming on this platform because you're attracted to realness, integrity, and people that can really help you get to the next level. And also, this ain't get rich, get quick. If it took you 5 years to get $40,000 worth of consumable debt, 525 credit score like I had, guess what? It ain't going to take 5 minutes. It ain't going to take 30 days. It ain't going to take 90 days for you to get out of it. And if it does happen that way, count your lucky stars, because that was just somebody blessing you. Because I think the biggest problem on these platforms is that we see people hop out here and they show this stuff, and you think that they just made it overnight. Nope, nope, nope. And if they did, 9 out of 10 times, they're not going to keep it. Why do I say that? I've been doing this for 20 years. And I very rarely have seen somebody jump on the scene and make a ton of money and sustain it without robbing, stealing, or cheating. And every now and then you might see a supernova in the sky, and that's 1 in a billion. But if you want to learn how to build fundamental, foundational financial independence and create transgenerational wealth for your children's children, it's going to take time, effort, work, accountability, and most importantly, a team that works together in symphony without bickering, backstabbing, and stuff like that. That's who we're attracted to. We ain't looking for massive value. We are massive quality. Massive quality with the emphasis on integrity. Not perfect, but the emphasis on integrity. And this is a long introduction to begin the show, but this is coming from our heart. I didn't script this, but we have been blessed so much that we understand we ain't got nothing to do with it. This is the Most High, God, providing us with these opportunities, because Nick knows what's going on behind the scenes. Literally, ladies and gentlemen, we ain't got no nose, and I can't remember when. And I'm talking about at the highest level, we're introducing people to 7-8 figure opportunities, and they are like, where you been? We've been waiting for you to come talk to us. And they open up their checkbooks, they open up the access. And here's the thing, we're also blessing people that really don't deserve to be in our circle, but because we have been blessed, we're bringing them in our circle and we're passing the blessings on to those. Because wouldn't you like to be able to have access to somebody that had 20 years in the game and had access to people with billions of dollars and had access to people who had thousands and hundreds of thousands, but had access to connect you to somebody to help your dream come to fruition? And all you had to do is pay it forward. That's what we're looking. And I also want to thank the small subscribers we have. And I want to challenge you that if you are winning from the information that we're sharing with you, share it with somebody else. Share it with somebody else. Sincerely share it with somebody with nothing that you expecting. Not quid pro quo, not pro bono. Just share it with them. And trust me, you're going to get some benefits for doing that down the road. Most importantly, if you have children, your children are going to be blessed. And that's what you got to understand. You should be laying the foundation for your children's blessings, not for yours if you are, already working. And, I had the privilege of working with a young lady today, and she reminded me of my mom, and I gave her another 40% discount on our program because she needed a break. And we want to help her. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm saying, hey, I wish that when my mom was a single parent and she was struggling because she didn't know what she didn't know, that somebody would have gave her a life preserver. So a lot of you guys don't know is that my mom was a young teenage mother at 16 and 18. And statistically, she wasn't supposed to make it, and we weren't supposed to make it. But you know what? God had different plans. So that's what I'm excited about. So if you really like sincere, honest, integrity-based programming that actually shows you the best of what the world has to offer with character, not high value. So let me tell you something. You can be high value, which is materialistic things in dollars, and not have character. But if you're high character, you automatically have high value. And if you don't understand that, you'll get that on the way home. And if you never understand it, guess what? You're going to lose in life all the time. Real talk. So we appreciate everybody that subscribes to our channels. We appreciate the partners, and we appreciate the people that give us, constructive criticism. Hey, tell us what you like. Tell us what you like to see improvements, but we're not changing the nucleus, okay? You get this real cut, unadulterated, and we'll stand up stack by stack principally than these people out here on this platform, because just like Nick, just like Dr. Hollowell, just like, Clarence, just like Ray, just like Ron Harris, Ron Bonds, just like Cheryl Squalls, just like Tanya Archibald, Astoria Stubbs. We've got quality people. And it took 20 years to get here. And it took 9 failed businesses to get here. Yeah, failed businesses. We're very successful now, unapologetically. And if you really want to measure a man or a woman, if they have children, check their children out. Because their children ain't gonna lie about their character because they lived in their house. That's why Nick is amazing, because he had amazing parents. And if you have parents and grandparents that have laid the foundation for you, maybe you ought to give them their flowers while they're above ground. Okay? So that's what I'm excited about. I know you probably wanted me to talk about some of the victories we have financially, but that ain't important. Here's what my dad and my grandfather told me. Said, Dale, if you lose money, you ain't lost nothing. You lose a friend, you lost something. But if you lose that name on the back of the shirt, the Ransburg, that took me 5 generations to create a impeccable reputation, and you can literally lose it in 30 seconds, you lost everything. And that's something that I hold dearly to my heart, and I teach my children. And it's hard to be a character-based person in this today's world, but that's the most important thing. So guard that with your life. You'll get the money back, you'll get friends back, but your reputation and your character. And here's another thing: if people are besmirching and vilifying your character, number one, stop paying attention to the fucking comments in the bar and in the comment section. Stop getting on fucking Instagram, Twitch, whatever. But number two, make sure that you love yourself so that comments don't matter. Okay? Because an eagle never gonna be worried about what a fucking mouse thinks. And the lion damn sure ain't concerned about the single hyena, and damn sure ain't concerned about the gazelle, and damn sure ain't concerned about the gnat. But every now and then, the lion gotta fucking smack them down to show them that they the lion or the lioness. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we are big time excited about. And guess what? The best is yet to come. Because we are all about quality, not quantity. Quality, not quantity. So with that, I'm going to pass it back over to my host, and actually the guy who this show is, Nick's Knowledge and Notions, NQ. And this is the best co-pilot on the planet. Back to you, brother.
Yeah, appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I just want to point out a couple of highlights from the week. Well, two that we brought to the people. So for the first time since 2019, DJ delivered the Family Finance 101 course live to those who purchased the Millionaire Money Made special, and to our executive members. That's a 3-hour course. So we're not talking about the webinar, the Family Finance webinar, the 1-hour Family Finance webinar. We're talking about the entire Family Finance course. He went through the entire booklet there, and he put it all out there on Wednesday night. Put it all out there because he rarely does this, and it's going to be a long time before he does it again, you know. So, but we have it documented, we have it recorded, and for a nominal fee, you can get access to that, you know. So that went down on Wednesday. Then we came right back last night on Thursday with Bet on Black. The men, the family, the legacy, and that's going to introduce what I wanted to talk about tonight, because I kind of want to build off last night's topic. So we talked about sports, athletics, and having that conversation with our children about which sports they should focus on if they're interested in multiple sports, what future they see themselves in when it comes to athletics, where they can go with athletics. And I wanted to focus on that tonight because sports was a major significant part of my childhood. It played a big role in my development. It played a big role in me becoming a man. And not only kept me out of trouble and kept me in shape and away from childhood obesity, but it taught me some soft skills, and I actually had some significant moments in my sports story that I didn't actually mention last night. So I wanted to tell some of those stories, starting from the beginning, spending some brief time in the beginning to give some background, and then talk about some of the more significant events and people that I met, during my high school years. So, I always played organized sports, but I also, of course, I also played sports outside with my friends, you know, out in the street, out in the backyard, on the, you know, on the basketball court, and the, you know, and
I think you were making up that y'all played tackle football on the streets like us, because that's old school.
Oh no, we the last. I'll tell you this, we're the last generation that did that.
Y'all the last of the Mohicans.
Yeah, we're the last. Yeah, we're the last of them. You know, hey, the generations that came after us, they barely played outside. You know, let alone organized sports. I mean, it's so crazy. Like just the recreational sports and like the church leagues, like you mentioned. You know, when we were kids, those were almost as competitive as AAU and playing for the school team. And then now you can barely find, you know, those programs barely exist. You know, it got so bad to the point where when it came to recreational basketball, they had the boys and the girls playing together. That's how low it became as far as you know, kids signing up for these sports. But yeah, it was really competitive. So I started out about at age 7. You know, I think that was the youngest that you know, we were allowed to play sports unless your father or mother was the coach. You know, one of my best friends, his father was a coach, so he was able to get him in at 5 years old. You know, so started out at 7, and the idea was to keep me active, you know, throughout the year. You know, so I played a sport every season from that age, you know, all the way through high school. So like I mentioned last night, I started off with soccer in the fall, basketball in the wintertime, and then baseball in the spring. And I was, you know, at 7 years old, you know, I was pretty good at all of those sports, you know. So it really just came down to which sport I enjoyed the most, you know, and it always came down to basketball. Basketball was my favorite sport, you know. So I played those 3 sports up until middle school. Yeah, up until about middle school, I played those 3 sports. I continued to play basketball in middle school. I continued to play baseball for maybe 1 or 2 more years. Then I replaced soccer with cross country. And interesting. So the first interesting story with basketball, I played recreational basketball up to 8th grade. 7th grade, I tried out for the school team, and I actually got cut from the team. But I played you know, I played recreational ball that year. So this is where those first lessons in hard work and resilience came in. Man. You know, I locked in. I locked in, and I went hard the next year for the 8th grade team. And you know, I was going so hard in the tryouts that the coach noticed. He said, "I see you out there working hard." I'm like, "Yeah, I got cut last year, so I'm you know, I'm putting in that
work with purpose, baby."
Yep. Yes, I made, you know, so I ended up making the 8th grade team. That year we went. See, this is another sad. No, yeah, I'll say it's sad because we went through the entire season undefeated, got to the championship game, middle school championship, and lost by like one or 2 points.
Been there too. Yeah. Ooh, that hurts. That's pain for several months, maybe years.
Yeah. To make it even worse, those same kids that we played against, they would continue to be a thorn in our sides in high school too. so those kids that we played against for Tenton Falls Middle School, they ended up attending Monmouth Regional High School, and they ended up being a thorn in our sides in every sport too. Yeah. So so high school comes, and this is where I'm going to slow it down a little bit, because this is where you know, some significant events and significant people start to really show up. So I talked about making a varsity squad for cross country as a freshman. So I made a varsity squad as a freshman. Got my varsity letter. So I was just running cross country. Yeah, as a freshman. Yeah,
that's what we used to live for. Getting that letter.
Get that letter.
On your jacket.
Yeah, get that.
You were the man. And
the
honeys loved it.
Oh yeah.
Do they still do that?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing now, but I can tell you. I'm going to talk about the varsity.
They used to call the letterman. You varsity.
Yeah, that's right, man. And multi-sport, multi-letter. Yeah. So, yep. So freshman year, made the varsity squad for cross country, and I was just doing that to get in shape, stay in shape for basketball. So when basketball season came around, I wasn't the best player, but I was running circles around everybody. Running suicides. I was by the end of practice, I was still doing suicides full speed.
Endurance, stamina.
Yeah. So during tryouts, I didn't get cut from the team freshman year, but man, I had definitely had an embarrassing moment during tryouts. So they moved me up to try out with the upperclassmen, for JV and varsity, and we were running the three-man weave drill. No, not the three-man weave, but the 2-on-3, 3-on-2 drill. And this senior, so I'm coming back on defense. This senior, they passed the ball to the senior. He's like, I'm about 6'1". He's probably about maybe 6'5" or 6'6", something like that. They give him the ball on the wing. He drives down the baseline.
You got posterized?
I got posterized. I got posterized in the tryouts. and then after that,
woo!
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I was too small to get posterized, so I just step aside, bro.
Didn't see that coming.
I ain't get nobody's balls in my mouth. No.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see that one coming. I probably would have moved out of the way if I knew that one was coming. So after that one, they sent me back to the freshmen. They like, yeah, go try out with the freshmen.
You ain't ready for the big leagues, grasshopper.
Yeah, they sent me back to the freshmen. Man, but I shined on the freshman squad. So I did so well on the freshman squad. By the time that we got to the end of the season, they actually moved me up to JV. During the championship season. So I played a few JV games and put some points on the board, and that came from not getting discouraged from from that embarrassing moment.
That's gonna happen to everybody. If you're a competitor, you're getting dunked on.
Yep. Yeah.
Part for the course, baby.
Yep.
Welcome to the show. Yep. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Yep. And that was also during that time. That was also my first introduction to leadership too. So this is when the soft skills come into play. The coach may be the captain of the freshman, the freshman team. So I was the captain of the team. So that was my first introduction into leadership. So spring season comes around, outdoor track season. So yeah, I'm just like, yeah, let me just run track so I can stay in shape for basketball, for cross country and basketball for next year. So so I'm joined the track team, and I just thinking I see all these intimidating upperclassmen out here. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to be a regular freshman out here, and we ended up having runoffs for the relay squad, for the 4x400 relay squad. So we're having runoffs, and these are runoffs for the varsity squad to go to Penn relays. In Pennsylvania, the big relay meet that they have. All the schools from all over the country, and and some of the international teams. So we had the runoff. I end up making the relay squad. I end up grabbing that 4th spot on the relay squad. And what's significant about this is that I was on the relay squad with an All-American and a state champion.
Wow.
Yeah. So as a matter of fact, that All-American, he ended up running track and playing football at the University of Miami. And then he played a few years in the NFL for the Oakland Raiders and I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that was major. But another sad story at Penn Relays. We get the Penn Relays. I'm the second leg, I think. Yeah, I'm the second leg on the relay squad. The first.
You didn't drop the baton, did you?
I didn't. But somebody else did.
Oh man. So I
so
wouldn't want to be that person to drop the baton, bro.
Yeah, never. So the first leg is the All-American, Corey Nelms. So he busts out, he muscles out the first the first leg is coming in first, hands it off to me. I hold the lead for most of the lap, but I feel the heat on my back. So I hand it off to the junior, to Greg. Greg,
were you a freshman at this time?
I was still a freshman, yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah, I was still a freshman.
Dang, dude, you had mad talent. Wow.
Yeah. Yep. So Greg runs the third leg. He hands it off to the other guy, state champion, and they drop the baton. The freshman didn't drop the baton. It wasn't the freshman. It was.
That reminds. I think our Olympic women were winning, and they dropped the baton to lose the gold. I think a few years back, if I'm not mistaken. We have to do a fact check on that, but that's devastating, dude.
Yeah. Because I think we would have won for our, for our group or whatever. They break it down by group or high school size or whatever it is. But we would have won for our group. We would have got a medal that day too. We didn't. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when did the soft skills intervene? Because I'm pretty sure somebody on that 4x4 was ready to go to blows. Yeah, all that work y'all put in.
It was more the mood was more depressing than anything.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Everybody was just kind of like had their head down. But I wasn't the captain. I wasn't the captain yet. I was a captain of the cross country team, but I wasn't the captain of the track team yet. I didn't become. Wait, no, I messed that up. I wasn't a captain. I didn't become a captain until my sophomore year. I messed that up. Yeah, so I didn't become a captain. I was a captain of. Wait, no, I didn't mess that up. I was right. I was a captain of the basketball team for freshman year. Then I became a captain of cross country and track my sophomore year. That's what it was. So I was right. I was right. So I guess it was the leadership of our coaches. Shout out to Coach Chambers. He always dropped a lot of lessons on us that we were able to apply outside of track and field. So
you know what? That's funny you said that. I only can think of two coaches.
Yeah.
In all of my athletic career that actually encouraged me and uplifted me because I was a small kid. And you know what? Here's the funny thing. It was two women coaches in baseball. Coach Wyatt and Coach Henderson. And it's funny you talk about getting rejected. So we didn't have T-ball when I growing up in the hood. We went right to what's called the minors, the little league, and then to the pony league, which we call senior league. So like we were talking about last night, in our neighborhood, literally, man, it was like everywhere you turn, there was a D1 player. And I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Here's what happened. So took the baseball, maybe like 5-6 years of age. I was a bum. I was a bust. Could not play a lick. But the old man was like, we just gonna put that work in. So we had sponsorships at the time. To show you how old I am, we were named after restaurants. So the top team in our Little League, in Roseland Little League, shout out to Roseland Little League, Kentucky Fried Chicken. That was the name of the team, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Carl Buddage, which is these cheap deli meats and stuff. And then we had the Palazzo Brother Funeral Home. We had Root Brothers. And our community was going through reverse flight. So we actually were living in Roseland when it was still half white and half black. So we had Italians, Irish, blacks playing baseball. That baseball was the sport when I grew up. Now, mind you, I'm a lot older than you, but baseball was everybody lived for. At that time when I was playing baseball, the major leagues probably had like 27, almost 30% black players in it. And all the baddest players were black. You weren't thinking about no basketball. You weren't thinking about no football. If you were going to be the guy that everybody was admiring, you had to be a baseball player. So I go from the minor leagues, 6 years of age, can't make Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's the number one team. They don't never lose. And managed by two women, Mrs. Wyatt and Mrs. Henderson. And both of their sons, well, Mrs. Wyatt had a son named Durrell Wyatt. He was a stud. I mean, this dude hit like 40, 50 home runs in a Little League season, got drafted. The Hendersons, actually, one son, Michael Henderson, played for Duke basketball team. And I'm like, damn, I used to play baseball with this dude, Yeah. So I was like, man, I want to be on the Kentucky Fried Chicken team. So we just put that work in the fall. Me and old man, we just putting the work in. I mean, my hands are getting busted up, blisters, blood. He go buy me a glove. And I'm still like, man, I ain't good enough. I go to the trial like you. I'm going 100 miles an hour. I'm catching everything. I'm making every play. You know it. Boom, boom, boom. Next thing I know, I get drafted by them. It's like, man, like you made the MLB. I get drafted by them, but I don't start. But I'm happy to be on the team because it's the best team in the whole league at that age level.
Yeah.
So you got to wait your time. But here's the thing. Like you said, it taught you leadership because I start rooting for the guys on the team. Hey, man, let's go. Let's go. I'm excited. I'm the ball boy, whatever. I'm the last guy on the bench. I know I barely luckily be on the team. And so the age groups were like 7 to 9 and then 9 to 12. So they would draft interseason. Our league was set up just like a farm system. That's how bad it was in terms bad meaning good. That you would play toward the middle of the season to get pulled out and pulled up like the pros. Now, how they doing pros, if people don't know in baseball, towards the end of the season, August, September, if you killing it in the minor leagues, AA, AAA, single A, they invite up a handful of rookies where it don't really technically count, where they give you some exposure to the MLB. So you playing your heart out, man, I got to make it to the Little League. So we go that whole season, we go undefeated. I barely play. I'm 7 years of age, but every day after practice, we just put that work in. Yeah. And the next season, because the cats get drafted to go up to the next league, because man, it was like they do on ESPN. Oh yeah, he's going to University of this. He's going to you literally at the end of the season, they're calling out so and so is getting drafted to the Root Brothers. So and so is getting drafted to Carl Budding, and this is the Little League team. So you don't hear your name. It's like, oh man. So I don't hear my name. But the next year, Kentucky Fried Chicken, I become the starting shortstop. So I'm out there, I'm killing it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still not excited because I want to play in the Little League. I'm still playing in the minor leagues, even though we mopping the floor, everybody. So that determination and that drive of that rejection to know that, wow, I figured out. I may not be as athletically gifted as these guys is, but I noticed when my old man made me put that work in, and I wanted to put that work in. I think we used to do 20, 30 hours a week practicing. And then all of a sudden, you go and all of a sudden you know how to do stuff that the other cat can't do. So
you go.
I get to I think it was 8 years old. I'm killing it. I'm hitting everything. I'm making every play. So now the Little League #1 team, Carl Budding, which is undefeated, they draft me towards the end of the season, pull me up to the Little League. Man, I'm excited. Again, I don't play. I go right to the pine. And I know last night we talked about don't play up if you're going to get time, but Clarence will tell you this was different. You wanted to be on the next team because that stretches yourself, because in the practice, you would be the team against the team we're going to play in the next game. So you got more clock in practice than you would do playing, but that got you prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we go through that season. It's a kid named Jesse Peters who plays second base. So when I went to Little League, arm wasn't strong enough to play short. They put me second baseman to Jesse Peters. So Jesse Peters was a Star State pitcher. So he had to pitch rotation, and I got the call at second base. Oh, dude, I'm telling you, man. At the same time, I'm nervous. Man, the game is moving fast. I'm a little guy. Everybody's like big, tall. At least 6-7 inches taller than me.
Mm.
So all of a sudden, Jesse Peters is pitching a no-hitter. And in Little League, I think it's 7 innings. 6th inning, this dude hits a scorching line drive up the middle, rocket. I just reach out, just luck. What had nothing to do, just twitch muscles, and that ball, pow, right in my glove. I'm talking about, dude, my hand was like, boom, boom, boom. You know them cartoons, your hand get real big? But I'm just like, I made the catch. And I'm just excited. Everybody just started piling on. We win the game, 1-0. Dude, after that play, I never sat on the bench. I literally took Jesse Peters' position at second base. They moved him to first base, and he was our primary pitcher. But that lesson taught me is that rejection is only permanent if you stop working. And if you love what you do and you put that work in, and when you over-prepare, that moment is going to happen and elevate you to the next level. And from there, dude, I just had supreme confidence. I was like, dude, I'm a baseball player. I'm playing at every level. And not only am I playing, I'm going to dominate. Went on to dominate the rest of the league as I got older, dominated in the pony leagues, killed it in high school. But back to you.
Yeah. No. I'm glad you brought that up, because I kind of glossed over the baseball years, because I was pretty nice at baseball too, and I sometimes I wonder, what would happen if I would have stayed with it instead of going with another sport, because I could have went in any.
6'1", man, you're a nice size for a baseball player.
Yeah, and I played almost every position at least once, except for shortstop. I never played shortstop, but I played at one point. I played every position, whether, because I played all through, I played from T-ball all the way up to the major league, so, but I was probably the best, man. I had some nice diving catches out in the outfield too, some diving and some sliding catches. I used to show out in the outfield sometimes.
Oh yeah, defense is my #1 thing. I could hit, but defense, dude, I was a Golden Glove down, dude. I'm telling you. Matter of fact, tell you a story. So our community league was better than most high school teams. And the Little League World Series, we actually, our 13-year-old team came one game from going to Williamsport is what it's called. One game, dude. We had a stacked deck. We were killing, slaughtering everybody. And it was so much so that playing at the high school wasn't even something we got up for, because it was more, our community was so bad and beating down everybody that what I need to play at high school for? I'm going college. We would have scouts at our games for our community league because it was a top tier program. Roseland Little League, And most people think about Chicago, they think about Jackie Robinson West. Rosen Little League was on par with Jackie Robinson West. And the last thing people remember about Jackie Robinson West is 2014 when that black team won it all and lost to the Japanese team, and then they came up with that bull crap. But check this out. So I went to 2 high schools. So I went to a Catholic high school, you know, my first 2 years, and I was like you. I was just good at a lot of stuff. So I was a world-class bowler, world-class baseball player, and I'm not making this up. You know, people check the receipts that we have. So I didn't even play at my first high school because my community league was so bad in terms good that we dominated. I was like, why am I gonna play over here? And we had a really good baseball team, and it was primarily white. So I was like, dude, I'm not gonna go to that. I'm not gonna be playing behind somebody because of favoritism, because I'm getting all the print, all the stuff I need from my community league. So when I transfer out, I go to this top tier public school, Kenwood Academy. It was the #1 baseball team in the all state of Illinois. Had like 5 D1 scholarship athletes, and 3 dudes got drafted straight into the pros. So I go there. I got my Letterman jacket on from the other school, which they pissed off. Why are you wearing that to our school? Well, because, dude, I got all these letters. So, again, I'm not even interested in playing baseball at that school. I get on a bowling team because, again, I qualify to be a professional bowler. And I'm killing it. I'm ripping it up on the bowling. And one day, I get into a fight at the school. I'm getting expelled. So the vice principal was like, son, do you have anything that you do recreational? Because if not, I got to kick you out of school. I was like, dude, I'm a beast at baseball. Now, this is mid-season.
Yeah.
And this is the #1 high school team in the state. So the vice principal says, all right, if you that good with your braggadocious mentality and you out here fighting, I'm going to get you a tryout in mid-season. If you make the team, you don't get expelled. You don't make the team, you expelled for the rest of the year. That's what me and my mother in the principal's office. Real talk. You can call my mother up and ask her.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there like, I'm just laughing. I'm like, oh, damn, I didn't fight all the time then. So we go to the tryout. Obviously, the coaches are pissed off. I'm talking about mid-season. Baseball season is short in high school. A lot of people don't realize. If you played 20 games, you played a lot of games.
Yep.
So I get a private tryout. Coach Stevenson, who hated me, Hank Gathers. I mean, it's not Gathers, but Hank Lott, our star player at the team named Hank Lott. He threw like 95 miles an hour lefty. So the principal talked to him. Yep, gonna give him a tryout. He was like, man, we're not doing that, dude. It's the middle of the season. We ain't got time for that. They give me a tryout, Nick. I kill it. I don't miss nothing. I bat, pop, 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 pop. And the vice principal was like, oh, snap. The coach is like, he's mad, but he's also like, damn, why you even come try out at the beginning of the year? So he puts me on the team. He sits me on the bench. So I know I ain't got no room to be back talking anything because if I ain't on the team, I'm kicked out of the school.
Yep.
So after about 4 games in, second baseman, sloppy. Shortstop is tight, but I'm better. The star player, Hank Lott, is like, hey man, we need to have Dale starting at second base without a doubt, and he should be playing shortstop, but we need to put him on in the starting lineup. So the coach, reluctantly, he puts me in. His favorite player, I take his job. We go all the way to the city championship. And then the final game, he decides to sit me down. We lose that game to Shirts High, 2-0. And the second baseman makes 2 errors for those runs to come in to beat us. That's my junior year. So we go from there. Our senior year, we were predicted as like the #1 team in the whole Midwest. They have cats coming up from sophomore JV. I take the role. I'm like, okay, I'll be starting at short. Nope, he put me at second base. I started at second base. This dude was like, hey, man, we're going to have you platoon with his player that was a sophomore. I was like, dude, I don't do platoon. And mind you, I'm still playing community baseball. We killing it. We traveling all around. I was like, all right, dude, here's your hat. Here's your jersey. You keep that because I ain't into the politicking. If your boy ain't better than me, I'm out. I quit the team, and the team goes through the season. He begs me to come back on. We get eliminated in the first round just like the Lakers just did. And I still get recruited to play college baseball.
Wow.
Real talk. And then in my senior year, on the bowling side, we win state championship, first time they ever had one. City championship, first time they ever had one in the history of their school. And so we're talking about coaching. Every person that I came in was a negative situation, had bad relationship with the coaches, but they were trying to use me up for my talent. But I was smart, and I was like, dude, I'm not going for that. So even now, they have a trophy case with the championship for bowling, and they don't even acknowledge me. But in the yearbook, it shows me in the picture with the person that won the championship. But the only two coaches that ever treated me right, Miss Wyatt and Miss Henderson.
Wow. Yeah, that's deep.
Because I was never the favorite, and because again, I came from a two-parent household to a one-parent household, and my mom had to work 2 jobs, so I had never had anybody advocating for me. So I learned how to fight my own battles. And pertaining to leadership, when I knew what my worth was, I never allowed them to diminish me as a person. So, yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So
man.
Made me a fighter. Made
Yeah,
me a leader by default, because I had to stand up for myself, and then I had to stand up for other people as well.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Another lesson there. Now, see, my experience with my coaches, they're pretty much mostly the opposite. I could say I maybe had I would say, yeah, I've had generally positive experiences with my coaches, especially in my older years. You know, as a matter of fact, the assistant track coach, you know, he ultimately became like another father, you know, away from home, you know, for me. So he used to drive me home from practice. He actually drove my father and I down to DC to tour Howard University, and he took me down to Washington D.C. January 2009 for Barack Obama's first inauguration. You know,
Wow.
Yeah. So shout out to Coach Perrier.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, so see, you know, the funny thing, see, with baseball, and see what I learned, I didn't know back then that was politics. Baseball is heavy into politics.
Yeah.
They get their little clicks and everything. But when I became a parent and I started reflecting back on my experience, I said, oh, this is why these things happen. Because a lot of times, because also too, here's what a lot of people don't realize. When you are fighting to stay above the poverty line, you're moving a lot. When my mom got divorced from my dad, we had to move. And then we moved. Then we moved again. So I was moving in and out of different communities. So I was always the new guy. And then being the new guy, and you got these skill sets that the coach can't deny, and he gonna want to win, he eventually got to put you in. So when I became a parent and saw how these people would bond together and fight against a person that's better than their son, because they all like they back in high school with their clique. Oh yeah, Johnny is this, that, nothing. Johnny can't play a lick. but because Johnny connected to the coach's friend, Johnny gonna play.
Yep.
And so I became the advocate for the outsider as an adult. And now it's like, oh, if my mom would have been able to be at my games and my dad would have been at my games, I would have had somebody advocating for me. But I didn't have that. So I became the advocate as Coach DJ. I would purposely look for the underdog, go work hard with them. I've taken kids, Nick, that had no skills whatsoever, but they had, the actual hand-eye coordination. And a lot of people don't realize in baseball, tennis, it's a hand-eye coordination sport where it's a skill more than athleticism. That's why you see these cats all fat, out of shape, just killing in the MLB because it's hand-eye coordination.
Yep.
That's why if a cat, there's a saying in baseball, if you can hit, you don't sit.
Yep.
Because I'll put you at first base. I'll put you at the non-athletic positions. I'll hang you out in left field because you don't have to be too athletic out in the left field. Or I'd slide you over to third base, but if you got some quick reactions, you can make some play. But I ain't putting you up the middle. I ain't putting you at catcher. I ain't putting you at shortstop. I ain't putting you at second base or center field or right field. Because that's where the ball is. They got to have athleticism. But if you can hit, you don't sit. I'll roll you. Albert Pujols is a primary example of that. Albert Pujols could not play a lick of D, but he is a Hall of Fame hitter. He made himself into a defensive player, but he cut his chops being a great hitter. If you look at his career, he bounced around a whole bunch of positions. And so when I realized that, I would look for kids who were undersized with good hand-eye coordination, play ping pong well, stuff like that, and I would just teach them the basics, beat them up on the drills of footwork, reacting left to right, stuff like that. And then I put them in a spot, and they would just outplay the kids that are more athletic because they had a skill. And then when these clowns out here in these little leagues and select baseball and stuff like that start want to pass over these kids, I was like, all right, let's put this kid up against your big boy, and let me see your lateral footwork. Let me see this. Let me see that. They can't. Oh, but he can hit. Yep, but guess what? What wins championships? Defense. So I started teaching our teams about defense. And we actually would set our hat on D. And we came up with another, I don't know if it's called, what is it? Not an acronym. I don't know. What we'll take a word. We call it HEAT. Heart, hustle, energy, attitude, teamwork. Never heard me say anything about talent. And I would take kids, I say the first 4 games of the season, I don't care what the score is, because at the end, we get these playoffs, we're going to kick ass.
That's right.
And our teams would be whipping people at the end of the season. We'll take a couple of lumps. I said, them games don't mean nothing. That's just tune up to get them skills tight. So that leadership started to develop because, again, I went from my own personal experience. I understood the politics. And here's what I know. Even when you're an outsider, if you're winning, you're playing.
Yeah.
We got a ton of trophies, ton of championship rings to prove it. And the people may not like me, but they love our results. And they always wanted to play on my team.
Yeah. Yeah, Coach DJ. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, brother. So yeah. Sports teaches you character. It teaches you, like you said, soft skills. And if you're a young person watching, soft skills mean you have people skills. You have the ability to relate to them, be empathetic to a person. At the same time, you know when to be firm. And even in business, reason why a lot of athletes who are successful in sports are successful in business, because that same principles, same character is what you need to be successful in business. Because the most hardest sport is business. And in order to be successful, you got to have a team.
Gotta have a team.
And you got to know that the role player is just as important as the star player. I mean, How did Steve Kerr make his money? By being a drop down 3-point shooter when Mike made Craig Hodges, John Paxson. And you have to be able to, put your ego aside and say, hey, man, I'm going to be ready when they need to call on me, so I will be there for the team.
It's another lesson right there. Yeah, another lesson that I learned. When the end of the track meet came, when it was time for that last relay race or any relay race during those relay meets, a lot of the guys they would go running high when the coach was looking for them to fill in for a position when another runner was injured, but not me.
Yeah, man, you got to be unselfish, because at the end of the day, man, did you get the W? I mean, I tell kids, okay, you hit 4 home runs, you scored 50 points on the hardwood floor. What was the final score? Oh, we lost. Just like the other night, Dame Dollar, he dropped 55, they lost. Where Dame Dollar not? They got eliminated. Yeah. And just like Dame Dollar said, forget about them 55, we didn't win.
Exactly.
You can go 0 for 20, hit the winning shot, you're a hero.
Mm-hmm.
You go 0 for 5 in a game, get the winning hit, what they going to remember?
Yeah, the
what
winning
did
hit.
They do to Bill Buckner, who had a all-star career? He let that ball trickle through his legs when he played for the Red Sox. They actually vilified him for his whole rest of his life. He almost was thinking about committing suicide, and they were harassing his kids. Now, Bill Buckner's probably too old for you guys to remember. He was a Cubs player, won 3-4 batting titles, and he made one mistake in the World Series, and the Boston Red Sox lost to the New York Mets. Forget the fact that he hit 320 every year, knocking in 100 RBI. He made one mistake. And you could go back and look at cats who get one great play in a championship game. Look at Derek Fisher. He hit one great shot. Robert Ory. Big shot, Bob. He knocked down 1 or 2 shots, but his career was average. But you know what? They don't remember. They remember he knocked down that shot.
Yep.
He got that hit. They become legendary.
Mm-hmm.
But because they were unselfish and they played the role and they looked at, hey, man, this is a team collect. Unless you play in individual sports, golf, swimming, tennis, it's a team sport.
Yep.
And when you learn that and you find your role and it's all about winning, you don't really concern yourself with stats.
Exactly.
Because a lot of cats that have long careers that are average but are great professionals because they are good professionals. They learn how to get along with a team, take the role that they are, given, and they are ready to do the work. That's leadership. And that's something that only sports can teach you. It'll humble you. You go from being the big guy in the little pond and then go to the real league and then say, hey, man, you're going to be on the bench. And you go, oh, man, let me go play for somebody else. No, man, learn your lesson. Stay ready. And if you are good and you're a team player, you will have that moment to shine. Like they say in the NCAA with Luther Vandross, one shining moment. Man, sports is the equalizer.
Yep.
It's a meritocracy. That's the beautiful thing about sports. Ain't nothing else in business. After certain things, it's a meritocracy too.
Mm-hmm.
Man, sports is awesome. And any child that doesn't get an opportunity to play sports at some level, they're being deprived. And I'm not talking about video games. I'm talking about real sports, physical activity, and mental toughness. 90% of sports is mental.
Oh, man.
and why do I say that? Because when you get to the show, baseball, you make it to the NBA or the NFL, all these cats, talent-wise, are pretty much equal.
Equal, yep, exactly.
Every now and then, you got a super freak athlete.
Mm-hmm.
But most of these cats are equal.
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is what I teach my children personally and my my clients who I call my children too. I said, what's the difference between a professional, an all-star, and a superstar in any sport that you see on television that you admire? Again, a professional, they are best in the world, even though they are the 15th player on the bench in basketball, even though they may be the 25th player in baseball, even though they may be the 54th player in football, they're best in the world.
Mm.
And those people can go to any other league and be a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
That's professional talent. What's an all-star? An all-star is somebody that makes the play all the time, that rises above the professional, that they make the play. But what's the superstar? The superstar is the guy or the girl who everybody gunning for. You know they getting the ball. You know they carrying the rock, and they still hit the winning play, make the winning pass when the lights are the brightest.
Mm.
That's the superstar. And yes, occasionally that superstar has super freakish, talent, but 9 out of 10 times they outwork everybody. They're the first one at the gym, first one at the field, first one on the court, last one to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they have in common? Fundamentals.
Yep. 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 Yeah. 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 And then also the thing about that mental piece too. That's what kicks in when you're in the fourth quarter or you're in that last inning. You've been playing.
Everybody's tired.
Yeah, everybody's tired. Your legs are burning. It's it's that mental that stretches you to make those last few minutes of that quarter or to make those last few innings. It's that it's that mental.
And that carries on into life.
Mm-hmm.
Carries on to business, carries on into relationships. And that's why sports is so important. And that's why America puts sports in front of everything, in front of religion, in front of school. And that's why they become the idolized, which then it gets off the tilter. But what it is, they respect the character that it took for these people to be successful. The internal intestinal fortitude. And that's not what we are, highlighting or applauding nowadays. We're applauding all this fictitious, materialistic stuff versus let's look behind the scenes and what gave that person what they want. And I'll give you a prime example. A person that's changing the narrative that I didn't like at all and still don't care much about. James Harden, super talent. He was all about stuff in the stats. And people are like, he's never going to win the championship. But you know what? He's changed his narrative in New Jersey, and he's become a team player. But when he was down here in Houston, he was selfish as hell. But when he was with OKC, and he wasn't James Harden that you know today, he was a team player. So it shows you that deep down, he really wants to win. He don't want to be known as the dude that, dropping 50 points, hitting 15, assists, and nobody can stop. He want to be known with the dude that got one of these.
Yeah.
Because see, now he's playing for his legacy. Because he done made all the money he can make. Mm-hmm. He got all the popularity, but guess what? He don't want to be amongst the greats. And just like they be fooling Charles Barkley on the show. Anytime they can't beat him in a debate, where your ring at, Chuck?
Yep.
Even though Chuck is probably one of the best 15 players, and I'm not a fan of Charles Barkley, but he was a beast on the court. But this silenced everything. Why do you play the game? I tell my children, we play the game for 2 reasons. Number 1, because we like it. Number 2 is because we come here to win. And if you take that mindset in every aspect of your life, you won't be reading the comments of these losers out here who are living vicariously through your experience because they can't do, or they don't even have the freaking courage to go out and take them L's to become a lifetime winner. So why do I give a damn about what some sport journalists got to say? Why do I give a damn about somebody in the comment box? Why you on my platform? Get off of it. Go get yourself a fucking life. Because you know what? If you got a life, you ain't on these platforms unless it's really educational and can impact your life for value.
Yeah, you don't
If
have
you
the
wasting
time
that
or the
much
energy.
time, you're a loser.
Yeah, you don't have the time or the energy.
Dude, I don't watch television. All the stuff we've been doing over the last 30 days, dude, I like watching movies. I ain't watch nothing because I got stuff to do.
Exactly.
Impact and legacy for that name on the back of the jersey, like my father and my grandfather told me. Because if tomorrow I'm out of here, you know what my children can say? My dad was a certified winner. And it ain't based on your perspective. It's based on what my dad provided for me, my brother, my sister, my grandparents. That's what it's about. And that, if you are brought up in a single family household, there's no freaking excuse when you know the difference between right and wrong. If you play some type of sport, and even I like even with the spelling bee, chess, because it gives you that competitive drive to be great.
Yep.
Character. Again, you can ask any of the people that played and been coached by me. Oh man, what coach? Very beginning of the season, I'm gonna teach you about this one word: heat, heart, hustle, energy, attitude, teamwork, baby. I don't care how much talent you got. I don't care how smart you are. Did you bring the heat? If you brought the heat, I love you. And you're going to play above the superstar who's selfish. And we learned that from sports and taught that to our children instead of trying to buy trophies, buy victories, and giving our children stuff that they don't earn because they lack character. We'd be better as a society, and we wouldn't even have to worry about a lot of this foolishness that's going on in the world right now. Because at the end of the day, everybody loves winners no matter what color you are, what creed you are, what your religion is. Because a winner, you can trust him or her. A true winner. Not somebody that cheated, but a true winner with character. Tony Dungy comes to mind. You don't hear nobody bad-mouthing Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy coached in football where it's known where all they do is talk, profanity all the time. Macho is low-key, level, highest regard. Because see, there's a saying. It ain't the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. So yeah, man, sports, man. I'm fired up. Back to you, bro. Man, we can talk about sports all day. That night and day.
Yeah.
Metaphors, life lessons.
Right. Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah,
and it builds community amongst the races.
Yeah, yep, it does. It does. Yeah. That's how those bonds are formed. Yeah. And yet there's definitely a lot that we could talk about because I didn't even talk about the rest of my story when I got into those captain positions, and then when I went through those injuries, when I went through those hamstring injuries, man, those I was never the same since since I strained my hamstring. Like it's still not even fully healed now.
Did you rush back? Is that what happened?
Probably, yeah. That's what probably happened. Yeah. But I was down. I was down and out, and that's what. And I think rushing back, that was one of the things that hindered me from reaching my fullest potential. Because remember, I was superstar in the making freshman year, and I kind of peaked freshman year in that specific event. I took on another event, the 800 meter, which was a longer race. Not as fast of a sprint, because of my hamstring. So I ended up mastering that race, but I never reached my fullest potential in my original primary event. So, but I took those lessons with me, you know. So even if I decided not to pursue sports after high school, which I decided not to do, I took the lessons with me, you know, those lessons on character and leadership and hard work and discipline. And I applied those to my academics, applied those to my careers when I eventually started working, you know. So it wasn't, you know, the plan was to play sports in college and have that to pay for my education. Even when I was younger, the plan was to go professional. Of course, that's
Right.
every black boy's dream, you know, when they're young, you know, to go to the NFL or go to the NBA.
Oh, hey, let's put it, man, every American boy's dream. Because again, in America, sports is bigger than anything.
Yeah.
It's only recently that these highly intellectual kids have become superstars from a social standpoint in Silicon Valley. Because if you put everything aside, you put a kid and say, hey, if you had your choice in life, girl or boy, to be, you know, a CEO of a $1 billion company, be an athlete with a world championship, they're going 9 out of 10. Oh, I want to be that athlete. Because that's why rappers want to be athletes. CEOs want to be athletes. Because we glorify that from that standpoint, because it's the warrior.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's that warrior. So what you learn is where I talk about the 4 Ps, professionalism. What does any sport teach you? Discipline is a form of professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to have persistence. You got to keep hammering at your craft and take that talent and mold it into what? A masterful skill. And then you got to persevere. That's the hardest one.
Yeah.
Overcoming them obstacles, them setbacks, and especially if you get out the gate and you accelerating at a higher clip than most people and you've never had any struggles. When that first one comes, that's when that character has to kick in. Either you have it or you don't.
Yep.
And then the last P is, hey, baby, are you ready for the spotlight to perform? Even though you might have sat on that bench the whole year and they called your number, did you shine?
Yep. Yep.
So again, that's why I get my, statements and acronyms and stuff like that. Is say, hey, man, professionalism, persistence, perseverance, performance. That's all sports, baby.
Yep.
Did no teacher teach me that. I learned that through sports. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have somebody teaching me that. I just learned from observation. And when I was the little guy, the underdog, and I wanted to be on the field and play a significant role on the team and get that championship, I didn't care what the score was, how many points, how many buckets, whatever. Did we win? Did I contribute? And when you embrace that, that translates in all your life, even in your relationships with your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your significant other. Somebody has to play a role. Everybody can't be the king and the queen. But the king and the queen ain't always the most important. It's the pawn. But then that's where that humility comes from. Because again, what are we striving for? If we're striving to be the best, then somebody got to take a step back and let that person shine, and we get to win together. So I teach my children, I said, if one person in the family wins, we all win. If one person loses in the family, we all lose. And that comes from sports.
Yep.
And if we can get our kids to learn that and get our community to learn that again, we're all part of the human race, and we need to be victorious as one race, not segmented and bitter and again. Because universally, you cut us, we all bleed red. And universally, we all want the same things. What is that? Freedom, security, and prosperity. Freedom, security, and prosperity. And what is that envelope? The pom-pom lifestyle. Plenty of money and peace of mind, baby.
Yep. Yeah, the perfect way to tie it all together. Yep. Yep. Yeah. But so, I know you like what you heard, so make sure you go ahead and like, share, and subscribe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to ask the people, which I never do, hey, Help us grow to 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So that we can share this important information and these principles of what real quality, upstanding, character-based people are. And if you got a quality, character-based family, then that it basically diminishes and it actually eliminates all the hate that we have in this world. Because if I'm fulfilled and I can help other people, I ain't envious against what you got, what you look like, or what you say. And now I can spread that, peace and joy amongst everybody. It used to be Coca-Cola say, hey, let's all get along. I forgot what they used to say, spread a Coke and a smile.
Yeah.
we need to do more of that. And stop letting these puppet masters change the narrative because they're the minority. You know what I'm saying? So again, hey, help us get to 1,000 subscribers. If you like what you see, share it, subscribe. Man, we're rolling out phenomenal content, high quality. And here's the thing I'm proud about. Outside of our adult, shows that we let you know, 98% of it is going to be child friendly. Child friendly. My man, Darian, yes, sir, 100%. Real talk. So here's what you should share with your people. If whatever you do, your parents will be proud of it and never ashame them, or your children, you're doing something right. Don't get it twisted just because they're paying you for it. It don't make it honorable. Okay? So, I don't know, man. Man, this has been a full show, man. My cup is overfilled.
Yeah, mine too. Yep, mine too. Yeah. So we can go ahead and close this out. So we'll close it out the way we do, and then we'll close it out with those ads again to remind the people to go get their Tolero and go get that special DJ the Money Coach package.
Man, you want to get this webinar, Family Finance 101. I'm telling you, if you are on the show right now and you were in that live 3-hour fire full awesome Family Finance 101 webinar, you got everything that your family needs to be successful. If you never see us again in life, if you just run the playbook, you know what I'm saying? Run the four corners, first base, second base, third base, home, a hit, a walk, a bunt, we score. Man, I'm excited. God's been blessing us, and we are here to bless you. So, Nick, close it out, baby. It's your show. Nick's Knowledge and Notion in Q.
That's right. That's what you have been in tune to. You have been in tune to the sounds and the visuals of Nick's Knowledge and Notions in Q Science Series. And we want to wish all of you a pom-pom lifestyle that is plenty of money, peace of mind, and we want you to come join us on the beaches of the world. And your beach may not be next to sand or water, but your beach is wherever you find your freedom and your peace of mind. So, of course, I'm Nick Westbrooks. He's DJ the Money Coach, and we'll see you on the next broadcast.
Hi, I'm DJ the Money Coach. Don't touch that dial. You want to become financially independent. You want to have consumer debt freedom. You want to have passive income, learn how to build a business, acquire real estate, and achieve the lifestyle you deserve in 2021? Well, hit that link below right now. We've worked with over 20,000 people in the past 2 decades, helping them become consumer debt free, increase their credit scores by 30 to 60 points in 30 days or less, and help them acquire businesses, real estate, taxes, and a network of experts just like me. So you'll get a complete 3-hour, 18-month course called Family Finance 101 that'll teach you A to Z how to become consumer debt free, credit worthy, and it puts you in position to become a certified entrepreneur. We'll also give you a complimentary consultation with me that's a $500 value. Why would you want to do that? Because I have already achieved that, and I can help you achieve your American dream in 2021. Hit the link below, get the free webinar and the complimentary consultation, and I'll see you soon and wish you a pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind. Come join us.
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth. It's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury.
Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly.
Visit ToledoTequila.com bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase. Now, let's start the show.